Hello, I'm Frank Hartman with the Hartman Law Firm, and I'm a practicing attorney in Charleston, South Carolina, specializing in auto accidents and personal injury. And today we're talking about what happens if you have a car accident outside the state of South Carolina. Where do you need to file the lawsuit? You would need to file the lawsuit in the state in which the accident actually occurred, because that state law is the one that's going to dictate the potential outcome, and that's the venue that you're potentially going to need to bring your lawsuit. In the event that you do, in fact, need to file a lawsuit out of state, you're probably going to have to associate an attorney that has a license to practice law. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, the accident happened in North Carolina. You would need to involve an attorney that has a license to practice law in the state of North Carolina, or a lawyer who has dual licensure in the sense that they practice law in both South Carolina as well as North Carolina, and in that event they would potentially be able to work the case. If you don't have an attorney who has dual licenses in the sense that he can practice both in North Carolina and South Carolina, for instance, he's just a South Carolina specific attorney, what's going to have to happen in the event that you've involved yourself and you've hired a South Carolina attorney is he's going to need to associate a North Carolina attorney as co-counsel, potentially second chair, and that person is actually going to have to file the lawsuit on both of your behalves. The significance of that is that any potential outcome, any jury verdict, ultimately those two attorneys are going to have to split that legal fee. It's not going to have any effect on your bottom line in the event that you get the outcome that you're looking for, which is A, winning, and B, that you get a good verdict based on your actual out-of-pocket medical expenses, your pain and suffering, and any potential punitive exposure. The third would typically be bumped to about 40%. That's the typical industry standard, because the costs and the time that are involved in actually going to trial. That 40% would be split typically right down the middle between the South Carolina and the North Carolina attorney, because they're both contributing and because they're both ultimately responsible for the case, ethically speaking. I'm Frank Hartman, and today we talked about what would happen if you had an accident outside the state of South Carolina and what you would need to do in the event that that occurs. If you're watching this video, chances are you have questions. I would strongly encourage you to pick up the telephone and call me, Frank Hartman, at the Hartman Law Firm at 843-300-7600, or you can look me up at thehartmanlawfirm.com. And again, thanks for watching.